today's video is going to be super duper special. It is kind of not a collab, but my husband actually is in on it with me. We decided to do kind of like a couples costume tutorial and showing you our looks and stuff. In case you cannot tell, I'm Harley Quinn a la Arkham City. I didn't do the ends of my hair because mama couldn't find a new red/black temporary dye. We will be having an entire like couples lookbook, like outfit ideas later on down the road. So like a whole different video full of other looks, but this one is so detailed and we put so much work into it. I just thought it needed to be its own video. So if you want to see Harley and the Joker's makeup and costumes and everything, then just stay tuned. So let's start off with the Joker's makeup. I'm using Mehron's White Paradise paint on my husband to basically transform him into the Joker. I've tried so many methods with Paradise paint and I don't understand why I always have trouble getting it to work. Everyone else seems to have a really great application, so I may have just gotten a dud, but for me it always turns out super streaky. So I figured out a kind of method around it. I, of course, will activate the paint with water and I will go through and apply the first layer with my fingers. I feel like by getting this first layer down really quickly, it blends in easier, and for some reason I do feel like when I go in with the second layer it looks a lot more opaque. So I'm going in with the foundation brush in the same paint and you can see how much more opaque and stark white it is when you use a brush. And since the neck area doesn't have to be perfect and I'm not so worried about brush strokes, I'm not doing the first layer with my fingers like I did for the face. So then once the neck is nice and white and covered, I'm going to go in and do the same thing with the brush to the face. I know it definitely looks messy and a little bit cracked, but honestly the makeup is not supposed to be perfect, which is really nice for this look. So I'm going to go in and set everything off just using a white translucent powder. I recommend an HD translucent powder because those are white and not like slightly skin colored like a lot of the translucent powders that are out on the market are. So I'm just using a powder puff, decided I didn't really like that and used a brush instead. So for this next step, it's going to be best to ask your Joker, or if you are the Joker in this situation, to make a lot of facial expressions. I'm getting my husband to look as confused as humanly possible so that his forehead bunches up, and then I'm going to fill in the lines that are naturally there with a bit of black eyeshadow. He was having a lot of fun with the face making. Tyler doesn't naturally get the worry lines between his eyebrows, so I actually kind of bunched together the skin there, which I know looks really nice. And again, I'm just filling that in with a bit of black shadow. This can be messy. I'm going in after I fill in each area with my fingers, with the powder puff. I'm just making sure it looks blended and not so stark. Then I'm going to fill in the smile lines using the same black shadow, and you want to make sure these are pretty prominent. It doesn't matter if they look too harsh or crazy right now, because once the red lipstick is on, I think it kind of makes them look a little bit, not more natural, but more in place. I kind of wish I hadn't done this, but I did do a little bit of contour on the cheeks. This is mostly because Tyler has amazing cheekbones, and I felt like this area of the face needed something. If I were to go back, I probably wouldn't do it again. Now I'm going to use a glittery black pencil. This is important. I'm using a glittery black pencil because I feel like it looks a little bit greasy, and that is what I want. There was no sparkle falling anywhere. I do wind up setting this off with black shadow, but I feel like it gives a slightly greasy look to the eye. I also did, of course, bring a little bit under the eye and smudge that with my fingers as well. And then I set off that eyeliner with a bit of black shadow, and I went pretty messy with this again. I brought the shadow down. You know, I didn't want to stay too much in the general eye socket. I wanted this to look messy and lived in, like he had been rubbing his eyes and living in this makeup for like 2 years. So now for the fun part, I'm going to first outline the lips just using a red lip liner. I do think this is really important because it does give you a much neater and more precise application. I'm going to start the smile, and you could kind of do this however you want. I'm just bringing it up like a smile and making sure both sides are even, and then I'm going to fill it in. I let Tyler choose what the lipstick would be today, and we did match with lipstick, of course, and he wound up choosing this really pretty one from LA Girl. It's a nice vampy dark red, and I think it works really well with the look, so I'm filling in the lips with this. Then I'm going to flip over the lipstick and using the pointed edge, and these lipsticks are flat, they're cut flat and at an angle, so they have a really sharp pointed edge. Tyler blotted his lips so that the lipstick didn't transfer onto the teeth, and then I'm going to go in and fill in the eyebrows with a bit of green eyeshadow. And since his hair is actually dyed green for this particular look, I thought that the green eyebrows looked really good with it. To finish off, I'm just running a large fluffy brush all over everything, avoiding the lip area. So I'm running it all over the eyeshadow, running it over the forehead, just to make sure everything kind of has a nice blended and very messy look. And that's the completed look for the Joker. For Harley's look, she's actually a lot more just porcelain and pale than she is stark white. So I am mixing a bit of a cream white makeup. This one is just from like the Spirit store. It's pretty bad on its own, but it mixes really well with foundation. So I'm taking the lightest foundation I own, and I'm just going to blend that into the skin. I'm just using my fingers to blend this in, and I'm also going to conceal under the eyes and on the eyelid to provide a smooth, kind of even base. Then I'm going to use a white HD translucent powder and just set off the face with this and kind of go all over to give a very matte look. Harley in Arkham City actually has a very strong contour, but it's a little bit different. It is a peachy brown from every photo that I've seen and every still that I've seen from the game. So I'm just contouring under the cheekbones with this shade. It does add a bit of a flush, but I think it looks less artificial than popping it right on the cheeks. I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows. I'm using my usual color for my brows because I'm not wearing a wig. I did order a wig for this look, but it didn't get in time. But I'm just filling them in with my usual color. If I had the wig, I would fill them in lighter or maybe like red and black, but for now this will do. For Harley's look, I'm going in with a creamy black liner. This one is a little bit old and it didn't wind up blending the way I would have liked. The difference between Harley and the Joker's makeup is hers doesn't seem intentionally greasy or lived in, so this does not have any sparkle to it. I'm keeping her look completely matte. I'm also drawing a slight cat eye at the outer corner, and you can see I'm not bringing any liner into the inner corner. I'm also bringing it on the lower lash line and in the waterline and tight line of my eyes to give an all-out black look. So then I'm going to go in with my matte black shadow, and I'm just going to set this off. And I'm kind of like going back and forth with brushes here. I'm using a fluffy brush, getting a really soft hazy look, and then I will go in with a flat shader and just really pack it on for more intensity. On the inner corner of the eyes, I'm just using an extremely light highlight color. You could use anything you want, with shimmer, without. I'm going to use that on the brow bone and on the inner corners of the eyes, like I said. I'm going to curl the lashes and apply some mascara. You don't have to do false lashes, but I really feel like they completely change this look, make it like sexy and pretty instead of just being like a harsh black smoky eye. So I am doing mascara, and then I'm going to pop on this really full pair of false lashes. And here you can see the difference they make. I think they're amazing. I love them. And then I'm going to work on the lips. So first I am outlining my lips with a black lip liner. Frankly, this was a pretty messy step and I wound up having to clean up a lot afterwards. Unless you had a very like sharp black lip liner, I think the eyeliner works. But be warned, it's pretty messy. Then over the top, I'm using the same lipstick I used in the Joker's look, that dark vampy red, and I'm just filling that in. And this kind of gives a like ombre look. In the very, very center of the lips, I'm going to pop on a bright red cherry for even more of that ombre effect. Here's the completed makeup. I actually really love it. I think it's super badass and I would totally wear this black smoky eye on a different occasion, but I love how it looks. And here is Harley's costume. I'm personally plus size, so I did order an Arkham City Harley costume, and that's where the bustier like corset top is from, but the pants did not fit at all. So I just wore a pair of pleather pants instead. These are from Ashley Stewart and I think that they look really good with this. And I did wear the belt with the costume, but I kind of would have preferred something a little bit more studded and like flashy, if that makes any sense. The collar came with the costume that I bought, and then my shoes are just combat booties, but here is Harley's overall look. For the Joker's costume, it was pretty easy. We just stuck to a store-bought costume entirely and only added in dress shoes that Tyler already owned. The costume was expensive, it felt really cheap, but I don't think it's one of those that would fall apart. So if you wanted one for the night or for an event, I think it would work. And then here is our looks together. I so hope you guys enjoyed this because we had a blast, and I think that our couple's costume looks really cute. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give me a thumbs up. These are not stitched for my little baby hands. My thumbs keep slipping. Subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you in my next video.